Okay. So last week our homework was to write down a list of people that we know that we can maybe potentially prospect. We aren't required to do that, but it is nice to do this exercise. I don't know about you, but I had a really fun time of sitting down and actually doing that homework. Anybody want to share with us how it went making your list or revising your list? Or kind of share with me how many people you got written down. And what'd you find from this exercise? Was it hard to do? Was it easy? What'd you find?
Hey Mel, it's Sue. I just wanted to let you know I copied this from the Eric Worre from online, the memory jogger.
Yep, that one's great.
Yep, that master candidate list. And it's really explicit how it goes through. How do you know this person? So you get to really track how you knew them. I always put the date on the far left, by the way, on the other side of names. So I always have that date running down that side. Date of contact. So I always have a follow-up. And then I thought it was great. I've got some Toastmasters folks in there. I've got a lot of people that I've met at Chamber that I haven't gotten with. Excuse me. A lot of people from Chamber that I haven't followed up with, and just a couple of people through the schools that I'm following up with to do Tower Garden presentations too. So my list was, and I had a lot of fun. You're absolutely right. It was fun. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 20 people. So that will keep me busy for the remainder of this week for sure.
Awesome. Anybody else have an experience? And are you keeping track of that on paper, or how do you like to do it?
Me? I'm sorry. I'm a paper girl, so I keep track on paper.
It doesn't. Anything that works is great.
That's right.
That's right. Who else? Did anybody else have fun doing this or find it hard? All right, well, I have to say I loved it. I thought it was so much fun. I like to keep mine very similar. What I've done is create a Google Doc like Sue has. Hers is on paper. Mine is a virtual list. And I love that I get to add people to it, and it just continues to grow and live. I think of it as a living list, which is really fun. And I was shocked. I was able to think of about 200 people, and I didn't really even think of, I just really didn't judge. I was like, okay, who do I know? And, of course there's people on there that I've already talked to Juice Plus or Tower Garden with, but there's also a ton of people on there that I realized, oh my gosh, I have never even shared Juice Plus or Tower Garden with them or our business. So I've got lots to work with there. And I love when I was looking back at Eric Worre's book, and what he talks about is find 2 people a day that you can continue to add to your list. And I actually did that this week, and it was really fun. And it doesn't mean that you have to talk to them about Juice Plus, but build a relationship with 2 people a day for the next 60 days and see what happens, and try to find a way to keep in touch with them over the next year. I thought that was a really fun challenge to do. So now that we have our list, it's this next skill that we're going to go into, inviting prospects to understand about our products and services. So what we've done in the past, and a lot of you that have been here before, since I know that there's a lot of people on the call that are veterans here, we used to do something called call, send, call. And we really used to talk about getting on the phone with people to invite them to an event or to hear about your product or whatever it is. But in today's world, communication has changed, and most conversations, as you guys know, are happening during text. And also, so that every brand new person, I don't know about you, but I was scared to death when I first started with Juice Plus about inviting to an event. I had actually not attended an event before, so I had no idea actually what I was inviting to. So remember that your new people are going to be scared to death of inviting. So it's really important that we share with them this amazing skill. So the point is to set up an appointment and text. And what Eric Worre says is that that is actually better and more effective than what we used to call the call, send, call. Now, we're still going to text, send them an invitation, and then text them again or call them again to remind them of their appointment. But it is super important to remember that things are changing for people as our communication world is changing. So the key here, remember, is to get an appointment scheduled. And usually that appointment is something that is live, okay? So when we talk about our inviting prospects, you guys, this is the #1 gateway skill in network marketing. And I was just on the phone with Reagan as she was kind of prepping me with this, and she said that when they talk about this being a gateway skill, that means that it is the gate that you have to walk through in order to be successful here. And as I was looking and kind of remembering about, you know, getting started and all that kind of stuff, I thought, oh my gosh, if this is the one thing that most people are scared of, we've got to do a really good job at helping our new people master this skill right away. And this allows us, when we master this skill, to be more of a professional than hunting people. And our mindset, like I talked about earlier, is to build that relationship. And the goal is to educate and inspire people, build trust, and transfer our belief. We all have this amazing, great belief in our product and our company. And if you don't already, go ahead and make sure you get with the person that is your upline and figure out what you need to do in order to build that belief. Because what we want to do is to transfer that belief that we have to other people. That's what we're doing. We're not pitching or pushing a product on people. We're really just transferring our own belief. And that allows us to be professional, especially when we get face-to-face with people. So when we invite, there's going to be one of two things that we're inviting for. One is for an event, and the other would be to invite to taking a look at a tool. So an event is actually the most effective, and there's the reasons why here, is that it has personal interaction, it builds trust with our people, it's social proof. So that means that, you know, if there's a group of people there, there is social proof that this is more than just what you say it is. And when you have a group, there's excitement and there's a sense of urgency. But sometimes there's downsides to events, like it's difficult to schedule, get people to show up, especially to like a live event that may be across town, that kind of thing. And when you have rejection to those events and you're not really good at inviting, this can actually discourage our new people and our new distributors. And this not knowing how to invite knocks out more people than any other thing in network marketing. So it's really important that we teach our people how to do this very, very well. So the other thing that we can invite to is a tool. And oftentimes this might be a better first step for people. These kinds of things are, tools are CDs, DVDs, brochures, online videos, websites. This might even be just sharing a sample with people in the mail. Stories, Facebook page or parties, webinars. There's so many different kinds of tools that we have here, you guys. I'm sorry, I went the wrong way. And tools are powerful. So when you think of why tools are powerful, #1 thing here is that it's the power of third party. And you guys, another tool that wasn't on that last page, but I know that Reagan would believe is a tool, what is it called? A three-way call is a great tool, you guys. So that power of the third party. And oftentimes what happens is that third party information, it's not about you, it's about connecting others to somebody other than yourself. And this helps us to resist the urge to sound intelligent when we refer to a tool. It transfers, you know, and this also helps with duplication in our businesses, as we'll get onto a different skill later on. But when you refer to tools, it makes it really simple. So Eric Worre says that the odds for success go up about 90% when you're using third-party validation. So third-party, that's what he says. And the formula for financial independence is your ability to get a large group of people to do a few simple things consistently over an extended period of time. And if you can get your team sharing a simple tool that's really duplicatable, consistently over a period of time, you're going to have great success here. So there's 4 emotional rules for inviting here. And number 1, we talk about this a lot, is being emotionally detached from the outcome. And basically what that means is to, you know, hey, I have something to share with you. It may or may not be for you, and that's okay. That's some great verbiage there to kind of emotionally detach yourself from what happens. Be yourself. Yeah, just show up as you when you're picking up that phone or sending that text. Just be yourself. You don't have to be anything else. And bring your passion. When people hear the passion in your voice or passion in your text or your excitement for helping them become healthier, or excitement for the business that we're a part of or the mission that we're a part of, that transfers into amazing things. And if you're just kind of like limp about what you're doing, or your posture isn't right, so the number 4 is posture is important. When you're confident, you're friendly, and you know what you know is good. It's this idea that sometimes people will pick up the phone and say, oh, you may want to come, maybe if you could, would you please come? Could you maybe want to, you know, all that kind of stuff. Your posture isn't there. And when you say something, I know you're going to love this, just come over. It's going to be fun. There's a complete difference in that posture there. So there are 8 steps, and these are all on page 48 of your GoPro book. So number 1 is be in a hurry, and we're going to kind of go through each one of these. She's kind of put these out for us here. So number 2 is to compliment your prospect. Make the invitation. If I could, would you? Number 5 is confirmation. So get a time or commitment. Confirmation number 2 is confirm that time commitment. Confirmation number 3 is to schedule the next call. And number 8 is to get off the phone. And I know that Eric Worre talks about this, but oftentimes, you know, making this appointment and making this invitation is a 2 to 3 minute phone call. Sometimes people can even do this in about, you know, 30 to 90 seconds. Okay. So it's steps, but it doesn't have to be complicated. I went the wrong way again. Sorry, guys. So the first one we're going to go over, be in a hurry. There's psychological issues with that. So people are attached to the are attracted to the non-needy. So this also allows for shorter invitation, less questions, less resistance, and people will respect your time. And I do have to say, you guys, being in a hurry and not kind of dilly-dallying around the issue allows people to allows them to know that you respect their time too. So if you call up and just chit chat with them for like, you know, 15 minutes, and then you actually finally get around to, oh yeah, by the way, I was calling to invite you to this. That's kind of the opposite way. So when you're working, work, and if you're socializing, socialize. So here's some examples for warm market. And this is, you guys, when, so these are people that you know, that you may know something about. So one might be, I don't have time to talk right now, or I don't have a lot of time to talk, but it's really important that I reach you. Do you have a minute? I'm running out the door, but I need to talk to you really quick. I've got a million things going on, and I'm glad I caught you. So these are all ways for your warm market to know that you are in a hurry. So cold market looks a little bit different. And this might be somebody that, like, gosh, they give you great service in the store, and you know, you're kind of running out the door, but these are some things that you can say. Now isn't the time to get into this, and I have to go, but I've got to run, but. So those are really simple things in your cold market. So some other things for being in a hurry is to focus on the concept, not the exact words. And you are busy. So you have a lot going on. You're excited. Your time is short. So the next piece of this is complimenting the prospect. And this is really, really critical for opening the door to communication. And it instantly builds rapport and will double your results overnight. So this one, I'm going to have us role play a little bit here. So here's some ideas for complimenting your prospect. So you've been very successful, and I've always respected what you've done in business. I've always respected the way you've done business. I think that's a great one. You've always been so supportive of me, and I appreciate that so much. So this is great to use for family and friends. And you've got such an amazing mind for business and see things other people don't see. Can anybody who wants to role play complimenting someone for me? And I need somebody to receive the compliment, and I need somebody to give the compliment. And it can be anything. Who wants to help me? Just real quick, take 2 seconds. Patty, Bobby. How about Sue? Sue, will you do a compliment real quick?
Anytime that you ask, lovely Mel.
Thanks. All right, so.
Do you want to receive, or do you want me to give?
Oh, I want to receive a compliment. Yes, please.
Ring, ring, ring.
Hey.
Hi, Mel. It's Sue. Do you have a minute?
I do.
Mel, I just wanted to run something past you because you've got an amazing mind for business and you see things other people don't see. Do you want me to continue with that, or?
That was awesome. Thank you. And what I was going to ask somebody is, like, how did that make you, if somebody said that to you, how would it make you feel?
Tell me more.
And I honestly, I have to say that when somebody gives me a compliment, instantly I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so sweet. Oh my gosh, thank you for thinking of me. And so then other kind of gibberish or whatever else is going in my head, it kind of completely offsets whatever else I think she might be calling about or whatever. I'm like, I'm just kind of overwhelmed by her compliment that she's given me. And I do have to say that when I first started Juice Plus and my friend called me and said something like that, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm amazed that she thinks that about me. And it really worked. I loved it. So it made me feel really good. So, and that's what we want to do with complimenting, is help our let our prospects feel really good, and that we want them to feel good, and then that kind of relieves some stress on other things. So you've given some of the best service I've ever received. So this is cold market again. Okay, this is a great thing to say if you're, shopping at Anthropology, my favorite store, and you just got this girl that they're just so good there. They really are. They just give you great service, and you want to know what? You want to be sincere about that. Hey, you got I've given me the best service ever, and thank you so much. You can kind of go from there. You're so sharp. Can I ask what you do for a living? Another one is, gosh, you're so sharp and you gave me the best service. Is this what you've always thought of doing for a career? You're so good at it. So then you can also compliment the prospect. When you're doing that, it must be sincere. You must find something, obviously, to compliment them about. And professionals are doing this constantly. So it just has to become something about who you are. Like, this is just going to become a part of you. And how you do that is just role play. And maybe every time you go to the grocery store and you just compliment the clerk, see what happens. So walls can be dissolved with a compliment. And that's kind of what I was talking about how it makes you feel when you receive a compliment. So then in making an invitation, there's basically 3 approaches. And these are kind of similar to having, we're working in your cold market or in your warm market. So there's the direct, indirect, and the super indirect, and we're going to get into each of these. So you have to convey value for them to show up. So when we do a direct approach, you can say something, and this is usually something that you obviously know something about this person. When you told me that, you were sick and tired of being 20 pounds overweight, were you serious, or are you just kidding around? And I think I found a way for you to solve that problem. Okay. And you guys, all of these approaches are in the book. And of course, there's the recording here. And I'm sure Reagan would be more than happy to share this PowerPoint with you if you wanted to see it. So I think I found a way for us to really improve our cash flow. Let me ask you a question off the record. If there was a business you could start working part-time from home that could replace your current income, would that be of interest to you? So obviously these are very direct. Have you ever thought about diversifying your income? See what they say. Do you plan on doing what you're doing for the rest of your life? Now that's the one that I love when I just receive great service at, you know, my favorite Anthropologie or, you know, any other parts of service, you know, pieces where you're out in the world and you're being served. So indirect approach would sound something like, I've just started a new business and I'm really nervous. Before I get going, I need to practice on someone friendly. Would you mind if I practice on you? You guys, I did this. This is how I started my business. This is how I did my 10-1-10, or what we call the 2000 plus. This is how I fast tracked to sales coordinator. That's all I did. I found a business I'm really excited about, but what do I know? You have so much experience. Would you look at it first and give me your opinion? I found a new business that is expanding in our area. Would you do me a favor and look at it so you can give me your opinion on it if it will be successful in your area? So this is great for people that you're friends with on Facebook and you can't get, you know, you're not going to get into the same room with them, but it's a great way to kind of give them an opportunity to look at what we're up to.
I have a question about this.
Yeah.
Especially for people like Bobby and I have been doing this for like 12 or 13 years.
Uh-huh.
How does one say that, saying new business, because we've been doing this for a long time? And
Well, what would that sound like?
I don't know, because to me that would sound like a lie.
Well, what if you said, I'm giving my business you know, like a fresh approach? I'd love for you to take a look at it for me.
That's a good idea. Thanks.
You know, I know we've been up to this for a long time and we're giving it a new approach. I'd love for you, you to take a look at this and see where it goes from there. Because, you know, I mean, that's super honest. We've always got a new video. We've always got a new approach. We've always got, you know, oh gosh, this new Transform 30 program. There's always something that's changing, or a new presentation that we're doing. Hey, you know, I'm giving my presentation a new overhaul. Would you look at it for me? Yeah. So super indirect approach. So these are the people on your list. I call them my chicken list. Okay. There's people, and this is like, gosh, if you were friends with the president of the United States or something, but you knew that this guy, there's no way that President Obama is going to want to start, you know, join us in our network marketing business at this moment in his career. But this business is clearly not for you. But I wanted to ask, who do you know that's ambitious, money motivated, and would be excited about the idea of adding more cash flow to their lives? Okay. Or who do you know that has hit a wall in their business and might be looking for a way to diversify their income? I work with a company that is expanding in the area. I'm looking for some sharp people that might be interested in some additional cash flow. Do you know anybody? So all of these in this super indirect approach, you're wondering if they know anybody. And oftentimes what happens when you ask this question is they say, well, maybe me. So, but they get to be the ones to say, to, you know, a step up for that, or they'll offer you a couple of people that you can get in contact to. So before picking up the phone, very, very important that you know what you are going to be inviting them to and what approach you're going to use. Okay. So you want to have a game plan before you pick up that phone. So oftentimes we do this with our new distributors when we say, hey, rate your list, tell me who you want to talk to, tell me more about them. This is when you can help them set up that game plan for what they're going to do, how they're going to approach them. Are they going to text? What are they going to do? Okay, so that's super, super important and a great thing to, you know, Sue had her list where she had their names, how she knew them, the date she met them, and then maybe this next piece is how are we going to approach them? Maybe that's the next line in your prospecting file. So this next piece we talk about all the time, Reagan is so amazing at if I could, would you? So if I sent you a video link, would you watch it? This is how you're inviting, you guys. Okay, so if I gave you a CD or a DVD, would you listen to it? If I gave you a magazine, would you read it? If I gave you a link to my website with a complete presentation, would you check it out? If I sent you a link to a webinar, if I sent you a link to a special invitation for a Zoom call, would you attend? Okay, so if I invited you to a special invitation only conference call, would you listen in? So if I invited you to a special get together at my home, would you come? So if I invited you to a special event on my home, would you attend? If I sent you an invitation to a special speaker, would you come? If I gave you a link to a website, would you? So it's if I did this, would you do that? Okay. So then the next piece is getting the commitment. When do you think you could watch that video? When do you think you'll have a few minutes to visit the Facebook page? When do you think you'd have a few minutes? I mean, these are really, really simple things, but then confirm that time commitment. So then when they say, yes, I can watch it by this time. So if I called you by Wednesday, you'll have seen that for sure, right? Okay, so they said they'd review the materials. They would do it by a specific time, and if you called them after that time, they would have reviewed the materials. So you've asked the questions, their answers made the appointment, okay? So then confirming the third time for the next, to schedule that next call. So what's the best number and time for me to call you? They'll give you what time works, and then you have a real appointment. So all you have to do is to be sure to remember to call them like you said you would. So that's when your calendar comes into play. So they've said yes 4 times. The whole invitation took just a few minutes, and your chances of achieving your goal of education and understanding have gone from 5% to about 80%. Okay, if you could master this skill and go from 5% to 80%, do you think you'd take the time to master this, you guys? And do you think you'd take the time to help your new people have much more success if you taught them really, really well how to master this? So another piece that Reagan was talking about, and this was kind of new to me, was getting this. What did she say? Hold on real quick. I'm sorry. So getting this like commitment for the commitment. So when you invite them to your home, you say, okay, do you know exactly where my home is? Would you like me to send you a map quest? You make it as simple as possible for them to make the appointment. What time do you think you could leave to attend? You know, sometimes it's like, gosh, would you like to meet early so we can chit chat beforehand? Could you leave, 15 minutes early? I'll meet you at the registration desk in a lobby. A lot of times, we have events where everybody has to check in. It's so much nicer when you see a friendly face that you know right when you walk up, rather than them having to go through all those people. So I'll call you the day before just to be sure we're all connected. I think that is a huge thing, because if they know that they are going to hear from you before the day of the events, that's super important. I think people kind of miss this step. Like, I don't know why they didn't show up. Well, did you call them the day before? Did you text them the day before to make sure they were coming, if they had an appointment with you? So, and the last piece is just get off the throne. Remember, you were in a hurry, so now's not the time to chit chat about the kids and, whatever else is going on in their life. Hey, I know I'm in a hurry. I know you're in a hurry. I want to catch up with you about a bunch of other things, but let's do that next time. I've got 20 more calls to make before the kids come home for school or whatever. So once you've confirmed that appointment, the best thing to say to someone is something like, great, we'll talk then, gotta run. Okay, so like I said, don't keep talking. Remember, the goal is to educate with a third-party tool. And the key to inviting is to have enthusiasm and never, ever, ever apologize. If my friend would have apologized to me about, oh, maybe you might not want to do that Juice Plus thing. I don't know. You may not. I don't know. I don't think that I would have, jumped on this, and it might not have changed my health like it has, and my whole family's health. So don't apologize, you guys. What I love about just transferring belief is that we get to show people what we have, and they get to decide if it's right for them or not. So apologizing for it doesn't make any sense. So don't expect them to say no. Expect them that they're going to say yes. Why wouldn't they want this? Made sense to you, right? So why apologize for it? So once again, types of events are one-on-one, two-on-one, local, regional, national trainings like our Juice Plus conference coming up, online, Zoom calls, small groups, lunch, etc. I mean, anything is an event, you guys. So I hope that this helps you to be more confident in understanding why it's important to invite to events and to really master this skill, so that we can be really successful and walk through that gateway towards a really successful network marketing career here.